When birds suddenly appear in our lives, they bring with them messages from the spiritual realm that transcend our worldly understanding. This phenomenon is not mere coincidence, but a sacred calling that echoes through the subtle dimensions of existence. Ancient shamans and mystics have long recognized birds as divine messengers, creatures that inhabit both the earthly and celestial realms. Their sudden appearance in our field of vision represents a fleeting portal between these two worlds, a temporary bridge that connects us with the deeper truths of the universe. When a bird unexpectedly crosses your path, it is crucial to understand that in that precise moment, the veil between worlds has become thinner. The timing of the appearance is significant. Each hour of the day carries its own energetic vibration, its own message encoded in the great book of nature. At dawn, when the sun first touches the horizon with its golden rays, the appearance of birds is closely tied to new beginnings and spiritual awakenings. This is when the collective consciousness is most receptive to messages from the spiritual realm. Birds that appear at this time often bring prophecies of personal transformation and renewal. At the zenith of the day, when the sun is at its highest point, encounters with birds carry messages related to personal power and the manifestation of our highest goals. This is the time when solar energy is at its most intense, amplifying the spiritual significance of the encounter. Dusk, on the other hand, invites introspection and contemplation of the deeper mysteries of existence. Birds that appear during this transitional period between day and night often carry messages related to our journey through the shadow, our deepest fears, and the truths we need to confront. The species of bird that appears also carries specific meanings that need to be interpreted with wisdom and discernment. Hawks, for example, are messengers of elevated vision and expanded perspective. Their sudden appearance invites us to rise above mundane concerns and contemplate our life from a broader, sacred viewpoint. Crows, often misunderstood, are actually masters of transformation and guardians of the deepest mysteries. When they suddenly appear, they bring messages of imminent change and the need to dive deeper into our own shadow self to find the pearls of wisdom that reside there. Hummingbirds, with their unique ability to hover in place and fly backward, are messengers of unconditional love and pure joy. Their sudden appearance often signals the need to bring more sweetness and lightness into our spiritual journey. To correctly interpret these winged messages, it is essential to develop a state of expanded awareness and attunement to the subtler frequencies of reality. Daily meditation, especially in natural environments, helps fine-tune our perception to these sacred communications. The process of attunement begins with conscious breathing. When a bird suddenly appears, the first action should be to deepen your breath, allowing the sacred oxygen to fill every cell of your being. This simple but profound act creates a receptive energetic field that facilitates the transmission of the spiritual message. Also, take note of the direction from which the bird appears. The east represents new beginnings and spiritual illumination. The south brings messages related to passion and transformation. The west is linked to the process of release and the completion of cycles. The north brings ancestral wisdom and guidance from spiritual masters. The number of birds that appear also carries deep numerological significance. A single bird often represents a personal and direct message from the spiritual realm. 2 birds may indicate the need to balance polarities in your life. 3 or more birds usually bring messages related to manifestation and abundance in the material plane. The behavior of the bird at the moment of the encounter is equally significant. A bird that lands near you is bringing a message that requires immediate attention and deep contemplation. A bird in flight may indicate the need to gain perspective on a specific situation in your life. To deepen your connection with these winged messages, it is recommended to keep a journal of bird encounters. Record not only the physical circumstances of the encounter, but also your emotional and spiritual state at the time, as well as any insights or sensations that arise during and after the encounter. This documentation process helps develop a personal vocabulary of symbols and meanings, allowing for a deeper understanding of the messages that birds bring specifically for you. Over time, you will begin to notice patterns and correlations between certain types of encounters and events or revelations in your life. Integrating the messages brought by birds into our spiritual journey requires a conscious process of openness and receptivity. This second part will guide us through practical aspects and sacred rituals that can deepen our connection with these divine messengers. The first step in establishing a deeper connection with the messages of birds is to create a sacred space in your daily life. This space can be physical, an altar dedicated with naturally found feathers, crystals tuned to the energies of birds, or images representing the different species that appear in your life. Even more important, however, is the internal space of reverence and receptivity that we cultivate in our hearts. The practice of mindful silence is fundamental to this process. When we are constantly immersed in the noise of the modern world, we lose the ability to hear the subtle messages that birds bring. Dedicate at least 20 minutes daily to complete silence, preferably outdoors, where you can observe and feel the presence of birds. During these sessions of silence, practice the spiral breathing technique. Imagine that your breath creates an upward spiral of energy, similar to the circular flight of eagles. This technique helps raise your vibrational frequency, making you more receptive to messages from higher realms. Dreams are also an important channel for receiving bird messages. Keep a dream journal by your bed and immediately record any dreams involving birds. Dreams with birds often contain specific guidance about your spiritual journey or alerts about situations that require your attention. The practice of sacred singing can strengthen your connection with winged messengers. Each species of bird has its own characteristic sound, its own sacred vibration. Learn to reproduce these sounds, not only with your voice, but with your entire being. This process creates a vibrational bridge between your consciousness and the collective consciousness of birds. There are also specific body postures that can amplify your receptivity to bird messages. The eagle pose involves extending your arms like wings, allowing your consciousness to expand beyond the limits of the physical body. The hummingbird pose requires a state of absolute inner stillness while maintaining an intense focus on a single point. Lunar cycles also significantly influence the nature of the messages brought by birds. During the new moon, encounters tend to bring messages about new beginnings and seeds that need to be planted in our consciousness. At the full moon, the messages often relate to the culmination of spiritual processes and important revelations. The practice of offering is another important aspect of this sacred connection. Prepare natural offerings for the birds, seeds, fresh water in a crystal bowl, or flowers picked with reverence. These offerings are not just physical nourishment, but a demonstration of gratitude and respect that strengthens the bond between realms. It is crucial to understand that each person develops a unique relationship with winged messengers. Some people are naturally more attuned to certain bird species, while others need to work harder to develop this connection. There is no right or wrong in this process, only the unique path of each soul. Working with crystals can significantly enhance your ability to receive and interpret bird messages. Moss agate connects with the wisdom of forest birds, aquamarine tunes into seabirds, and celestite amplifies communication with all winged messengers. Also, develop the practice of automatic writing after significant encounters with birds. Allow your hand to move freely across the paper without judgment or censorship. Often, deep insights and clear messages emerge through this process. The art of interpreting bird messages requires a delicate balance between intuition and discernment. Not every encounter with birds carries a deep message. Sometimes the message is simply a reminder to be present and appreciate the beauty of life. It is also important to understand the seasonal cycles and how they affect the messages brought by birds. Spring brings messages of renewal and spiritual growth. Summer often brings guidance on how to manifest our gifts in the world. Autumn brings messages about release and transformation. Winter invites us to deep introspection and the gestation of new cycles. Develop a regular practice of meditative walks in nature, remaining especially attentive to the presence of birds. Observe not only their physical appearance, but the energetic quality they bring with them. Some encounters may bring a sense of urgency, others a deep sense of peace. The practice of gratitude is fundamental in this sacred work. Every encounter with a bird is a blessing, an opportunity for connection with higher realms. Express your gratitude not just through words, but through actions that benefit all forms of life.